Hi, this is Harkheindzel Kenny Omiyale. I am a development and empowerment strategist and also the spiritual mentalist. You're welcome to this particular session, and this is courtesy MACE Roundtable, where we'll talk about everything from politics, governance, leadership, and political acumen. I strongly believe that this session is very much overdue. One of the things we will be talking about based off of certain conversations we've had in the community ranges around understanding politics and political acumen from more of a skeletal form for a moment. It's when you understand the skeletal part of politics and governance and political acumen that you can now begin to put the flesh on it, put the breath on it, and it begins to become a living soul. So let's take a look at the different levels of the power structure that anyone who wishes to engage in active, strategic, and practical politics needs to engage. The first thing you need to understand is that there needs to be stratifications of power. Without this, you cannot have a system. And what makes politics work is, you've got it, a great and strategic system that is perfectly linked together in an almost formidable manner that gives it leverage of sagacity, of strength, and supply. So let's just get into it so that you get the drift of what we're talking about. This is not in any particular order. However, the ordering is also very, very intentional. The first level of stratification when it comes to political structure of power is those with strength. These are usually the pawns in the game. Now, I do not mean pawns in a very derogatory manner. It just means that they are usually the ones, the footmen, if I could call it that. They're the infantry, if I could use the term of that word. And so these are the people who've got strength. And for many population and for many system, those who fall into these categories are the youths. Now, one thing you need to understand about the youth is the youth usually have lots of strength, but they lack lots of experience. And one of the things about them also is they are emotional. And what happens to people who are emotional? They're not usually able to make rational, logical choices. And so you really need to have people who will direct this energy and this strength into the right place. And so if you've got a sinister person, it could also direct it into the wrong place. Okay? So the first is those with strength. The second, those with intellect. These are the sages, the wise ones, the strategists, the consultants. And these are the people who understand policy and strategy. However, they may not really like to do the operations. That is, they understand the politics of how things should work and how things should be done, but they are not ready to get their hands dirty. And so the intellect are like the idea tank, the thinking tanks, the strategists and people with the wisdom on how things should be. You really need these people, not at the helms of affairs, but somewhere in the corridors of power where they feed people at the helms of affairs with wisdom and the wherewithal. So there goes the intellect, those with intellect. The third are those with funds. It takes money to win an election. It takes money to do a lot of things. The good book says, and money answers many things. And so when we talk about those with funds, it takes money to change anything. A lot of people, motivational speakers, think, I know that ideas rule the world, but unfunded ideas remain a dream. And so we must understand the role money has to play in the movement and the projections of any ideology or any agenda. The fourth one is those with channels. If you've got all the money and you don't channel the money in the right way through the right channels, you're going to waste a whole lot of resources. And so those with channels are actually those with networks and people who understand the distributions that makes things work. So this can come in the form of infrastructure, mega structure, and any kind of structuring acumen, either for living things, so that's for human structuring and distribution, or resource structuring and distribution. And also, we also have these people we shouldn't fail to mention. They are those who have the face and those who have the fame. Okay, these people represent the face of leadership. They're not all of leadership, but they are the ones that are projected before the masses, before the people, as the representative or leaders in quote. So these people who are the face and the fame usually get answer to a system, a chain of structure of people who influence what they say, what they do, and what they believe in. Okay, so the face of leadership means that you must always pin an idea or an agenda to a face. If you don't pin it to a face, you might not really get the kind of reaction that would give you a point of advantage. And the last but not the least are the backbones and the backups. Yes, these, for every face, for every fame, for every channel, for every funds, for every intellect, for every people with strength, you must always have backbones and backups. These are the sets of people who are hoping for the worst while they are planning for the best. You must always be at alert and do not for once think that no matter how sagacious you think your strategies or your policies are, that it is foolproof. Anything could happen. There could be natural disaster. There could be a revolution. There could be an uproar. There could be some form of scarcity. There could be wars, things you did not plan into the mix. And that can affect how things really go for you. So the backbones and the backups are more like the designated survivors. You really always need to have them. They might not be the best persons there, but if anything happens to the best person, who is another person that can still keep all of these things on track. So when you're thinking of advancing in politics, whether territorial politics, national politics, global politics, and any of those vices, you must understand how each and every of these things connect together in a very strategic way. I hope this has been of much value to you, and I look forward to other times where we get to talk about governance, leadership, and everything political acumen. Do enjoy the rest of your day and have fun.